Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be answering all of your questions regarding future content for 2018, what we have left in 2017, which is not a lot because we're reaching the end, and a whole lot more. So we've got a ton of questions to jump into today. Let's not waste any more time, and let's get it started. All right, our first question today comes from Chainsaw574, who says, why aren't fireworks permanently in stores? And that's a pretty good question, and I think Rockstar just wants to make them special. Like, they want to make them seasonal for when you actually use fireworks. Like, think about it in real life. You only use fireworks on certain holidays, like New Year's Eve, the 4th of July, maybe Memorial Day, stuff like that. You're not using them on, like, just a normal Wednesday night. And I think Rockstar kind of feels the same way. Like, they want them to be for these special times of the year. Would it be cool if we had them all the time? Yes, because they're super fun to do in groups. I wish they would add the ground fireworks back. Those are, to me, are personally more exciting than the ones you can shoot in the air. But those haven't been around for a while. But that probably answers your question. Rockstar just want them to be for special times. Grey's Anatomy Facts says, by what date do you think Rockstar will release all the unreleased vehicles? So I think that they will all be out by either late February or early March. And that'll get us roughly around 2 to 3 months of drip feeding, which is honestly what this amount should take. So the way Rockstar had it, I think there was like 13 unreleased vehicles in the files. So that's a lot. And if they were to do them 1 week at a time, which they haven't been, we've actually been getting more and more and more, but who knows, Rockstar might skip a week in order to give us some Red Dead Redemption 2 information, or they might just skip a week because they have, an adversary mode planned or something. I'm not too sure. But I think that the way it's looking right now, it's going to be ending towards February or March. Christopher says, if the next update is sea-based, how do you think we could store our boats? So I see Rockstar doing this in one of two ways. Number one, they could use like the docks we already have in the game to store the boats. So whether it's like the Vespucci Canals or the Meriwether Dock or one of the ones near Chumash or Palito Bay, that'd be pretty easy. You would just like drive up to it and it would go to like some storing animation or cutscene or whatever. That's one way it could work. And then the second way it could work is Rockstar could add some sort of water facility, whether that's a aircraft carrier, whether that's an underwater base or something like that. I don't really know. I'm sure they could get creative. That would be the other way to store it. That would probably be the easiest, especially if it was something like an aircraft carrier where you just like drove it into some little bay and then it was stored, kind of like what we do with the facility in the bunkers. So that's what I would imagine Rockstar do if indeed a sea-based update is on the horizon. Sorty says, if there's another business type of update, what would you like to see included to differentiate it compared to other updates? So I think a sea-based update would be definitely unique, but that still sort of falls into like the same go to point A to B, grab something, bring it back. I want to do something like more dynamic, whether that's managing a business or managing the stock market. I would love to like be able to do club management, kind of like what we had in the Ballad of Gay Tony, where we would have to make sure the club is running smoothly, maybe run errands for it if something was going on, maybe, defend it from a rival club or something like that. That to me sounds fun, not just start at your facility, go get package, bring it back, sell it. That is starting to get really boring, and if Rockstar switch it up, I think it could be really cool. Edge20001 says, do you think we'll ever see a update bigger than the Doomsday Heist in Grand Theft Auto Online? So if Red Dead Redemption 2 was not coming out in 2018, I would say potentially, because Rockstar always save like their big updates for December. We saw that with Import-Export, Executives and Other Criminals. Doomsday Heist, by far the biggest update we've received so far. But because next year, Rockstar's main game out is going to be, Red Dead Redemption 2, I think the answer is going to be no. I think the updates we're going to be getting in 2018, if any at all, which we'll talk about in a little bit for Grand Theft Auto Online, will be pretty small. There might be one more big update before the actual release of Red Dead Redemption 2, whenever that's going to be. But for right now, I think that the Doomsday Heist might be like the peak of what we've seen in online as far as what Rockstar is capable of doing in terms of content, vehicles, things to do, etc. I think that was probably the top of the mountain. All right, so the next two questions I'm going to be answering back to back as they are kind of similar. This first one comes from John Stav. He says, do you think that Rockstar are going to keep making updates through 2018? And then AST the Gamer says, will Rockstar keep releasing new DLCs for GTA Online after Red Dead Redemption 2? RDR2 will be a different type of game like Western Cowboy Lifestyle, where GTA Online is modern and high lifestyle. So AST is right. They are different games. Just about the only thing that makes them similar is, they're open world games. They're both developed by Rockstar, but they are completely different in their themes and the objectives you're going to be doing. He's right on that. However, as I mentioned in the last question, Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to become the primary game of Rockstar's focus. Whether the community likes it or not, they have to move on to Red Dead Redemption 2 because that's going to be their new game. They have to give it at least the majority of its support. However, as I've been stating, I do think that we will still get updates for online. I don't think they'll be complex updates like the Doomsday Heist, but I do think they will be, at least in some way, expansions to keep us entertained, to keep us occupied, new cars, new vehicles, new weapons, new adversary modes, stuff like that. Basically just filler content that Rockstar could provide for us. Now, if you're looking for more creative updates, that's probably not the best of news, but Rockstar's direction is definitely got to be looking forward. I mean, they've got Red Dead Redemption 2, they've probably got other games like Bully or Max Payne, another Grand Theft Auto like GTA 6 is most definitely in the works right now. So needless to say, that's going to be their focus. Grand Theft Auto Online will just probably get some little sprinkles here and there, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Santa Trucks 20 says, do you prefer Grand Theft Auto Online in 2013/14 or now? There are pros and cons to both. It was a much more simpler time in 2013 and 14, but we also had way less content. Like, for example, some of the best cars that Rockstar have added have come out within the last year or so. Some of the best things you can do in the game have come out in the last year or so, but also some of the worst, and the prices have increased. It was just a way more simpler time back in those years. Now it's a lot more complex. There's a lot more things going on, and it's really crazy in lobbies compared to what we saw in those earlier days. I think that there's pros and cons to both. I think I'm having a better time now than I was back then, but things are just way more hectic and chaotic. So you got to take the positives with the negatives. Chris Peterson says, what do you think the Valentine's Day update will have in store for us this year? So I'm not sure if Rockstar is going to be doing a dedicated full Valentine's Day update. There's a chance that they could release like the Hustler, which is kind of has like a Valentine's Day theme, one of the drip feed cars, and just like pair it into a Valentine's Day week. Or who knows, the drip feeding for these cars might actually end before Valentine's Day and Rockstar do a full-blown Valentine's Day update. I personally don't think that's going to be the case. I think that would be too much to release within the next like month or so. But who knows, Rockstar might do it. And I think the Valentine's Day updates so far have been amazing. Valentine's Day Massacre, the Be My Valentine update. So I'd love to see Rockstar do something like that. That would obviously be pretty cool. But even if they just do an event, I'll still be pretty satisfied. Ration says, do you think Rockstar will extend the snow because they delayed it for New Year's? Probably not. They probably just had like a different timeline for when they wanted to actually release the snow based off of what we had in mind. I'm really not too sure. I do wish the snow would just last a little bit longer. I don't know why they have that period like after Christmas and before New Year's where they remove it. I just wish they would start it and then stop it when like the festive surprise ends. The fact that they go back and forth is just really confusing. I'm not a big fan of that. But no, I don't think they're going to extend it. I think it will end at its normally scheduled time. I think we just all assumed that it was going to be arriving a little bit earlier than it actually was. Robert has the next question, and he says, how much money do you think we will need in the next update? So when I'm making this video, we obviously have not a single clue what the next update is going to be, but knowing Rockstar, it's probably going to be pretty expensive. With all of the content encompassed in that, you can probably guess that it'll be somewhere close to 30 or 40 or 50 million dollars. I mean, all the updates that we've gotten in the past couple of months and years have all roughly been around that point. If you want to buy all the items, the new buildings, the facilities, the clothing, the weapons, the vehicles, it's going to take about 30 to 40 to 50 million dollars. That's just how it's been over the last couple years, over the last couple months, really. So you're going to need a good bit of money. Luckily, knowing Rockstar, when the new update does come out, if there is a new update, there's going to be a lot of drip feed vehicles. So you won't necessarily need like that 30 to 40 to 50 million dollars on day one, but you'll likely need it throughout the 3 to 2 month life cycle of the actual update itself. So it's going to be pretty pricey, even though we don't know what it is. Fireman says, since Clifford is not completely gone, do you think there will be a part 2 of the Doomsday Heist? So I think it's a little tough to look into everything Rockstar says, literally, like what they tell their characters to say. So one of the things that Lester says when the heist is over is like, we get to go back boosting cars and sticking up people. A lot of people have been assuming, does that mean like tuners and outlaws or something like that? I think it means you just go back to stealing cars in free mode and, you know, doing normal heist or whatever you do. I don't think you can look into it all that much. And same thing with the fact that like Clifford is like code or his DNA is just floating out there. I don't think you can look into it all that much. The Doomsday heist would be so weird to be like, I'm back, Avon Hertz 2.0. Let's do this again with Clifford 2.0. Like, that would just be really weird. And I don't think Rockstar would personally do that. I think the ending was there to just be more of like a cliffhanger mystery for you to like come up with your own narrative and your own ending. But I do think that there is a chance maybe they could do like an Easter egg of Clifford or Avon in a future update. That would actually be pretty cool if they did reference them. I think that would be awesome of Rockstar, actually. And our final question today comes from Knifeguy. He says, do you think after 4+ years, Rockstar have any Easter eggs still unfound in the game? Do you think they will be adding more in the future? So since Rockstar released the game on PC, it's harder and harder for Rockstar to hide anything from us. So like the Red Dead Redemption 2 treasure hunt, we knew about that on day one. The unreleased vehicles, we all know about that on day one. So it's pretty hard to hide stuff from us, but I think, yeah, there is. I mean, there's so many Easter eggs that have been found, obviously like the Bigfoot versus the Beast, the alien egg supply mission that was added in gun running. I'm not sure if the Doomsday heist added any real like Easter eggs per se. I mean, we did get to go inside Mount Chiliad and finally discover a jetpack. So I guess you could say that, yeah, they did add some Easter eggs, but I think they will. I think it's fun for Rockstar to do something like this. And I personally think they enjoy just teasing the community as much as they do. But at the same rate, like I said, we don't know how many more updates are going to be coming out. So will there be a chance to add more Easter eggs? Who knows? This might have been the last update for online. And obviously, if that is, there's not going to be any new updates added because there won't be any new DLCs. But anyways, that right there is all the questions that I'm going to be answering in this week's Q&A video. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy. As always, if you want to get involved in the next one, all you got to do is go in the description, follow me on Twitter, and use the hashtag AskBoss, and you might find yourself featured in the next one. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. Relay daily GTA 5 videos like this. Hope you guys have an awesome New Year's Eve. Stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. And don't get yourself hurt. But without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next video.